setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
Hey, GOP. So far, you've been in power since January, and you have done nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilcho. We're still waiting for repeal and replace of Obamacare. You made a promise. Nothing's happened. You promised tax reform, and you guys are starting to do the fight on taxation. I tell you, we're getting... this is going to you, members of Congress. We are getting tired of having nothing done. You promised the United States, all the American people, that you would do something, and you haven't done anything. Nada. Instead, what you do is you sit there and you fight with the president. And so the American people see exactly what you're trying to do is that you are trying to derail the president from accomplishing the things that he promised and the things that you promised. But you know what? People are not looking at Donald Trump for his any failure. They're looking at you for all of your failure. Because you made a promise to the American people, and here you sit there doing nothing except fight. Hey, Corker, get off your butt and start doing something. Stop tweeting, okay? This whole thing is beginning to look stupid because you don't know how to tweet, okay? You don't have the talent for tweeting. So why don't you go into your Senate office tonight and start laying out some bills to replace Obamacare and some good tax legislation. But you're not going to do it because you want to play politics of this hate, I don't like Trump thing. And you, McCain, same thing. You're playing the same old politics, and it's getting very tiresome to the American people. If you and Corker want to go out of office as your last hurrah, guess what? You're not going to get a hurrah. You're going to get a boo because we're tired of nothing getting done. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now let's talk about the tax overhaul, which it will not happen because you've got so many people sitting there in three different fractions of the GOP party playing politics. You've got the haters, you got the people tied to lobbyists, and then you've got the political fractions offshoot of the GOP. And no one's willing to come to the table and talk. I mean, I'm getting so tired of seeing Ryan in all of his tweets going out and talking to these people, and he's making all these promises, but if he can't even get his people to come together as one and united on tax reform, nothing will get done. And I've got news for you people in Congress. Reducing the tax rates is not tax reform. That's all that I've been hearing. I'm also hearing it from Trump. Just tonight, I heard him on 2 news stations saying that people want reduction in their tax rates. No, we want a lot more than that. We want the IRS off our back. We don't want all those deductions on the tax return anymore that causes audits. Make it simplified. I keep hearing that word, simplified. But when a congressman or a senator says simplified, that means it's going to be triple times complicated. We need a lot better than this, people, because we are not getting anything done out of the Senate or out of the Congress. And then I have a message to you Democrats. Stop your hate campaign because it's getting old. You're not bringing anything to the table. As soon as the president says something, you automatically come out and without even expressing any ideas of your own or any genius plans that you may have, what do? You have this hate campaign where everything is wrong and all these people are going to die, and the list goes on. So I tell you, I'm out of breath on this. I tell you, people, I'm so frustrated with this whole political situation in Washington, D.C. I'm about ready to go there and take all their keys away from their offices. As a landlord, as a taxpayer, I think I have that right to go and take their keys and say, hey, you don't have a job here anymore because you don't know what you're doing. For one thing, government should never be involved in our healthcare because they hold healthcare as a political advantage to them, not an advantage to the American people. Because as you can see, Obamacare did not work. It's become this whole political mess, and our healthcare has now become a political game. And that's not how our healthcare should be run. It should be run independently, smoothly, a little guidance from the government, but not to take over healthcare because it does not work. Doesn't it exasperate you? I mean, I sometimes sit here and I begin to breathe heavily because I'm so frustrated that I see nothing happening that is fruitful out of our government. Now, it isn't that I don't love our government. I love this country. I want to see it succeed. But I don't want all this bickering and texting and moaning and groaning and hateful speech coming out onto the Congress floor every single day. I mean, it is annoying as hell, and I'm sick and tired of it. And you should be too. As American citizens who are paying big tax dollars, you should be sick of it too, because you see your tax dollars at waste. Now, the other thing that really bugged me today is California. California, again, the governor came out and signed some new laws. To me, personally, if somebody doesn't tell you that they have AIDS and you have had sex with them, to me that's a crime. Because now you have exposed that person, he or she, you have exposed that person to a disease that kills. I know that the medical field has met the challenge of controlling AIDS. And we put our hats off to them and we say thank you so much for that. But if you do not tell people that you have a disease, and if you have sex with them, to me that's a crime. So the governor made it a non-crime issue. It's no longer a crime issue. But they did make it a crime issue that if you use the wrong word to describe a transgender individual, you could be fined $1,000 or spend a year in jail. I don't get why social issues have to become legal issues like this. It's ridiculous. But that's how California thinks. They think that everything that is social gets them votes. And so they pass these laws so that they remain in power, not to benefit the people of California, but only to benefit themselves as corrupt politicians in California. Now there's a recall vote. There's a recall going on Governor Jerry Brown, which is about time, I'm telling you. Corrupt as can be. Once again, I'm frustrated because I see where we could do so much better in making this country better by having the right people in office. A lot of these people spend way too much time in government, and they have no idea what it is to be out there in the real world. That's why you and I should really ask for term limits on the federal level. Because enough is enough. Now, I think it's time that we get to Hollywood and Mr. Weinstein. So a few years back, about 2 years ago, I have a client and a very dear friend of the Mandela family. And I got to know them because at one point in time we were going to put together a fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao happened to be my client at that time. So we began putting together this fight because it was going to be Mandela's 92nd birthday. And some of you may not know this, but he was a boxer at one time. So we were trying to put a fight together in South Africa that would celebrate Mandela's 92nd birthday. And the Mandela team and I, we spent probably 3 weeks in Las Vegas going over detail after detail, and then finally at the end it just was not going to work out, so we had to withdraw the offers. Which was really a good business decision for Floyd Mayweather, because the amount of money that we were going to offer him wasn't even close to what he made off of his fight with Manny Pacquiao when he controlled the numbers. So I applaud Floyd Mayweather for being a tremendous business person. But we became good friends, and I was invited to attend a Harvey Weinstein production for the movie of Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is a really great movie. Great photography, great acting, great everything. It is a good movie and it tells a good story. Excuse me. So I went to the premiere. It was held in Hollywood. And I was in with everybody, waiting to get my free popcorn. Because that's the only reason why I go to movies, is for the free popcorn. But Harvey Weinstein was there, and he was mingling around and everything. And what I saw was a man that was very had a huge ego. He would not even take pictures with us because we were nobody. But he literally refused to take pictures with us. But later, and in the after show, we were at this club in West Hollywood, and we were sitting with the Mandelas, and we were also sitting with a whole bunch of other really great people. And he saw us sitting there with Mandela, and he waved at us, and I just looked the other way because I thought, gosh, now he's going to wave at me now that he knows that I know the Mandelas. And I thought, how rude is that? But finding out what happened in the last 5 days or 6 days, how long it's been, well, I guess really it's been over 30 years. The Hollywood has been protecting this predator. They took his money. Clintons took his money. Obamas took the money. The DNC took the money. Everybody took his money, but at the same time, everybody knew that he was this type of individual. And here you have Hollywood going out saying women's rights and equal opportunity for women, but yet they were still protecting this individual who was attacking women. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It's corrupt in a way that after 30 years of this guy doing this, and all of these actresses and actors praising this man and how wonderful he is, when they all knew that he had a sexual problem. And he was attacking women. It doesn't make sense, this politics, does it? Politicians will take money from dirty people and then go and do dirty stuff to us Americans. It doesn't make any sense. Hollywood is not a clean place to be. I've been there too long in my practice, met too many people. And I saw people that were so self-centered that they would look the other way for any given reason, just so that they could be a success. They didn't care if they hurt anybody else, just as long as their own life was on track. And I saw that time and time and time again. This is what happened with Harvey Weinstein. People saw him as a way to further their career, and they didn't care who else was getting hurt, even though they knew that other people were getting hurt. So Hollywood is dirty. I've never seen a person out of Hollywood that I could say, hey, yes, he's my friend or she's my friend. Because it was always what you could do for me. So I hope that we as Americans begin to look around us and start paying more attention. And when you see something unethical being done, stand up and say something. When you see somebody being abused, stand up and say something. Don't sit there. Don't think about your own needs. Think about that individual as being attacked by somebody. I think it's time that we begin to change how we think in life. I think all of us need to go back to an ethics class and begin thinking about what is right and what is wrong. And perhaps it's time that Hollywood does not be involved in politics anymore, because they seem to be practicing the same dirty tricks and the same corruptness as what they do in Washington, D.C. So let's start, each of us, we can improve ourselves. We can become more ethical. We should be studying ethics more in school. Businesses should be teaching ethics classes within their companies. It needs to happen. So that's it for my Political Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I conduct a political conversation with you. Or sometimes it's more of a rant, isn't it? Today was a rant. It wasn't much of a conversation. But sometimes you gotta rant, and sometimes you gotta make sure that people out there are really thinking about what's going on around them. That's important to us. And we need to do it every single day. We need to focus on our ethics. Most important thing in life is ethics. To be able to decide what is right and what is wrong, and walk away from the wrong. I encourage each and every single one of you to go out today, and if you own a business, find someone that can come in and teach an ethics class. It's vital, because ethics covers a lot of different things. And it teaches us to think clearly between right and wrong. I'll talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge for the WBT, and I'll see you again.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
World of business and taxes on W.